Uh, okay, so hello everyone. Thank you for tuning into Rav FM. Uh, Today we're at Sports Talk VSS, um, and we have a special guest host, Jeremy.
Hello everyone, I'll be filling in for EMAD today.
So let's listen to Odin about what we're going to be talking about.
Today's show, we will be talking about top 5 lists of all kinds. We will be doing the top 5 Raptors of all time. Also, top 5 point guards, shooting guards, small forwards, power forwards, and centers. We'll also be doing some baseball top 5 list, which will be top 5 positions and also top 5 pitchers. But definitely not least, at the end of the segment, we will be doing a hockey top 5 list.
And we're also going to be doing a Blue Jays update.
Alright, so with our first top 5 list of the day, we have the Toronto Raptors of all time. We're going to start off with some sleeper picks by Odin and Sergey.
In 7th place, we have Serge Ibaka. Serge made our list because of his defense at the rim. Also for helping the Raptors win a championship in 2019.
Our other sleeper pick in 6th place, we have Tracy McGrady, aka T-Mac. Tracy McGrady was drafted by the Raptors in 1997, NBA draft 9th overall. In his time with the Raptors, he had 11 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 block, and 1 steal throughout 3 seasons, where he had good stats, but they definitely aren't superstar stats. This is because he plays with the Raptors when he was very young and still is a developing player.
Now let's get into the actual top 5 list.
Now let's start off with 5th place. We have Chris Bosh. In his career with the Raptors, he had 20 points a night, 9 rebounds, and 2.2 steals and 1.2 blocks over 7 seasons. With the red and white. I think that Chris Bosh is probably the best big man in Raptors history.
Now in 4th place, we have Kyle Lowry. The reason why we have him in our top 5 is because he helped the Raptors win their first championship in 2019. With the Raptors, over 8 seasons, Lowry averaged 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists, and also had 1.5 steals, which are great stats. He is definitely the best point guard in Raptors history, as throughout his career he made 5 All-Star teams. He made an All-NBA third team in 2015-16 as well. He also leads all Raptors in many statistical categories.
In 3rd place, we have DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan is very well deserving of this 3rd spot on our top 5 list. He should even be higher on this list. In 9 seasons with the Raptors, he averaged 20 points, 4 rebounds, and 3.4 assists. He had 4 All-Star game selections, 1 All-NBA second team selection, and 1 All-NBA third team selection. Before this past season, where DeMar DeRozan got traded for Kawhi Leonard, he definitely would have been the greatest player in Raptor history. But because of him not winning a championship for us, and the emergence of Kawhi Leonard and Kyle Lowry, he is number 3 on this list. In 2nd place, we have Kawhi Leonard, who is one of my favorite players in Raptor history. Kawhi Leonard's second best player because he brought a championship here to Toronto. He also, after 1 season, he snaked us this past off season. He's an amazing. He was an amazing player for us in a very short sample size, and he's probably my favorite player in Raptor history. And so now let's go to the number 1 spot.
Surprisingly, Vinsanity, aka Vince Carter, is in 1st place because of his effect on the Raptors. He put the Raptors on the map.
Okay, now moving on to top 5 point guards of all time. So number 1, we have Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson's by far the NBA's best point guard, as he's the all-time league leader in assists. He's also one of the greatest leaders of all time, as he's led his team to 5 rings and being the Finals MVP on 3 to 5 of them. Now that is why he's number 1. Now, number 2, Steph Curry. Steph Curry is the 2nd greatest point guard of all time because of his amazing shooting skills and being the 3rd all-time player in career three-pointers made. Well, he's also in his prime right now, so that could definitely go up. Also, an enormous number of three-point records that he's broken his entire career, especially in 2016. He's got 3 rings, but unfortunately none of those have resulted in Finals MVP. However, he has 2 regular season MVPs, which one of them being unanimous, which is the only unanimous MVP ever. He's also a 6-time All-Star, showing how much the fans love him. He's also one of the very few players to be in the 50-40-90 club, which means he's able to shoot 50% from the field, 40% from 3, and 90 from the free throw line. He's definitely deserving of the number 2 spot. Now, close behind number 3, we have John Stockton. He's on this list because of his amazing ability to dish the ball out to an open teammate, which is mostly Karl Malone during his career. John Stockton accomplished being a 10-time All-Star and being an All-NBA team 11 times and 5-time All-Defensive team. I think John Stockton is well-deserving being the 3rd greatest point guard of all time. Now, number 4, Steve Nash. Steve Nash is definitely the number 4 point guard of all time and might be even higher on someone else's list. He's never won a championship, but he does have 2 back-to-back MVPs, while players like Kobe Bryant were still in the league. He would definitely have a championship if he had some better help during his career. And lastly, number 5, we have Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd was a great player throughout his career and well-deserving of the top 5 spot. He's an amazing passer, and I think he has very good representation of a dream point guard that anyone would want in their team.
Okay, so shooting guards, we all had completely different opinions. So in order to make this a lot easier for the group, we're just not going to talk about it. So we're going to go right on to small forwards. So for small forwards, LeBron James, without question, is the greatest small forward of all time. I also think that he's the greatest player of all time, and that's for a different discussion. LeBron James is 4th on the All-NBA all-time scoring list. He has over 8,500 assists, and he is one of the most consistent scorers of all time. He is also one of the clutchest players to ever play the game. Also, for a man that is 36 years of age, he is averaging 26 points, 8 rebounds, and 11 assists. Plus, he's shooting 40% from the field. LeBron James is a 3-time champion. LeBron James is a 3-time NBA's Finals Most Valuable Player, 15-time All-Star, 12-time NBA First Team, and he is just the GOAT. Kevin Durant, in my opinion, is the 2nd greatest small forward of all time. He can score from anywhere. He's a 2-time champion, a 2-time Most Valuable Player, and he's a 2-time most Finals NBA player, and a 4-time NBA scoring champion. And in my opinion, he's one of the best scorers in NBA history. Larry Bird is one of the greatest small forwards of all time. Throughout his whole career, he averaged 24 points, 10 rebounds, and just over 6 assists. Even though those stats aren't the best, he could control the flow of the game, and not many people can do that. I think Julius Erving is the top 5 small forward of all time, and it's more of a personal opinion because he changed the game of basketball. So when he played, if he didn't play in that time, if Julius Erving never existed, then the NBA wouldn't be a thing. He has such an impact on the NBA. He was a player who could control the game without scoring, and whenever they needed to score, he would have the ball. Elgin Baylor, in my opinion, is a top-5 small forward of all time. He is one of the best inside scorers of all time. He averaged 27 points his whole career with a surprisingly 16 rebounds. He is an amazing two-way player, and he deserves to be one of the best small forwards of all time.
On to the top 5 power forwards. In first place, we have Tim Duncan. I feel like he deserves the number 1 spot on my list due to his achievements in the sport. Tim Duncan is a 5-time NBA champion and has other achievements, such as Rookie of the Year and others. He was considered the ultimate franchise player for the San Antonio Spurs for 2 decades, and they have built a team around him. In second place, we have Dirk Nowitzki. Due to his achievements on the court, he was an MVP in 2006 and 7, a Finals MVP, and a 13-time All-Star, and a 12-time NBA selection, all NBA selection, and is an NBA champion in 2011. He is believed to have revolutionized the power forward position forever. Charles Barkley. This one is a no-brainer. Throughout his career, he has won MVP in the 1992, 93, 1993. He is an 11-time All-Star, 11-time All-NBA selection, and a Hall of Famer. Barkley was considered a force of nature as he was dominant in the paint, but was an all-around great shooter inside the arc. In fourth place, we have Karl Malone. Karl Malone has obtained some great achievements throughout his career, such as being a 2-time MVP, a 14-time All-Star, a 14-time All-NBA selection, 4-time All-D selection, and a Hall of Famer. And is the only player in history to have been named First team All NBA 11 consecutive seasons. Kevin Garnett. Throughout his career, Garnett has been MVP in the 2003 to 04 season, a 15-time All-Star, a 9-time All-NBA selection, Defensive Player of the Year in 2007-2008, a 12-time All-D selection, and an NBA champion in 2008. Garnett carried the burden of being his team's best scorer, rebounder, playmaker, and defender for the years.
For the centers, without a question, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the best center in NBA history. He is the all-time leading scorer, a 6-time MVP, a 2-time scoring champion, and a 19-time All-Star. And he has the most unguardable move in NBA history with the skyhook. He's also a 6-time NBA champion. In the 20 years that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played, he was unguardable from start to finish. Wilt Chamberlain was a monster when he played. He was the only person in NBA history to score 100 points in a game. He was over 7 feet tall and almost had a 50-inch vertical. He averaged 30 points, 23 rebounds, and almost 9 blocks. He could do it all. Bill Russell is the third best center in NBA history. He is an 11-time champion and a 5-time MVP. He averaged 15 points and 22 rebounds, and for a guy that's only 6'10", he's arguably the greatest rim protector in NBA history. Shaq is the most dominant player in NBA history. For a man who could not shoot but only dunk, not a single person in NBA history could guard him. Even though his stats were not the greatest, he was fast, he was athletic, and he could do everything. He carried Kobe to get 3 straight rings and got a little bit of help from D. Wade to get another one. He is a 15-time All-Star, an MVP, a 14-time All-NBA first team, a 3-time Finals MVP, and a 2-time scoring champ. Kareem is the 5th best center in NBA history. The way he played in the post, he could score from anywhere he wanted to, and on defense, not a single person could score on him. To this day, people try to copy his dream shake, but no one could do it better than him.
After the break, we're going to be talking baseball and hockey. Welcome back from the break, listeners. So now we're going to be doing our MLB top 5 lists. We're going to be doing top 5 position players and top 5 pitchers in the MLB right now. So we're going to start off with position players, and Mike Trout is obviously the best position player in the league. He is very high up in the MVP voting this season, and he is probably the greatest MLB player ever. Number 2, Christian Yelich. Christian Yelich won the NL MVP last year and might win it this year again. And and he probably will win the MVP this season if he didn't fracture his patella tendon. So he's probably one of the best young outfielders. Number 3, Nolan Arenado. Nolan Arenado is the best third baseman in the MLB. He has a fantastic arm. He's a great fielder. He also has a very powerful bat, and he's always very high up in the standings in terms of home runs and RBIs, which is probably because he plays in Colorado, where the ball completely just flies out of there. Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger is an amazing player. He's probably one of the best position players for the Dodgers. He's one of the best young players in MLB. He's an MVP candidate in the National League. His team probably would have went to the World Series if they didn't choke like usual. Alex Bregman is the 5th best player in the MLB. He's one of the best young players in the American League. He honestly reminds me of Josh Donaldson, who was with the Blue Jays in 2015. Just he's younger and he's a lot quicker on the base path. He's also an MVP candidate, right below Mike Trout. His team he definitely stood out for his team in the World Series this year. He's maybe one of the best position players on their team, right up there with Jose Altuve. Top 5 pitchers right now. So Clayton Kershaw, who is my favorite player in the MLB, he's the best pitcher right now because He has an amazing curveball. It drops so much. He has outstanding control on all 3 or 4 of his pitches. He has a career win-loss record of 163 to 74. He has a career earned run average of 2.44. He has 2,464 career strikeouts. By the end of his career, he will most likely be known as the best pitcher all time. He's already in compared to Sandy Koufax. For all these reasons, he's number 1 right now. Garrett Cole is the second best pitcher in the league right now because of his outstanding control on his pitches and speed on his pitches. He hasn't given up a loss since May this year, which means he's not a loser. He wins a lot of games. He's also able to take his team. He was also able to take his team to the World Series, but unfortunately, they weren't able to go the distance. He has a career win-loss record of 94 to 52. He has a career earned run average of 3.22. He has 1,336 career strikeouts. For those reasons, he is the second greatest pitcher in the MLB.
So for number 3, we have Max Scherzer, and he's the best pitcher right now because of his outstanding performance in this year's World Series. And he has an amazing ability to pitch into his 30s, which is not very common. He has a career win-loss record of 170 to 90, and he has a career earned run average of 3.2. He also has 2,692 career strikeouts.
Justin Verlander is the 4th greatest pitcher in the MLB right now. Because of his outstanding performance in the regular season and the playoffs this year. With a win-loss record of 225 to 131, which is outstanding. He's an he also has an amazing career earned run average of 3.33. He also has 3,006 career strikeouts, which is absolutely outstanding. And for these reasons, that's why he's number 4. Number 5, we have Jacob deGrom. He's one of the best pitchers in the National League, and he's definitely in the running for Cy Young. And he's having he had an amazing season with the New York Mets, who were not that good of a team. He has a win-loss record of 66 to 49. You might think that's low, but he's very young, so he hasn't pitched that much. He has an earned run average of 2.62 in his career. He has 1,255 career strikeouts. For these reasons, he's number 5 on the top 5 pitchers of all time.
On to the NHL. Here's an update after the first month of the season. We have David Pastrnak leading the season with a total of 30 points, which includes 15 goals and 15 assists. Following him are Leon Draisaitl with 29 points, then Brad Marchand with 23 points in the current season. As for the teams in the Eastern Conference, the Washington Capitals are leading in first with a total of 27 points. Trailing right behind them are the Boston Bruins with 24 points and the New York Islanders with 23 points. Moving on to the Western Conference, we have the St. Louis Blues leading with 25 points, and the Edmonton Oilers and Calgary Flames falling right behind them with 22 points.
Now let's go on to our Blue Jays update. So this past week, the Blue Jays acquired Chase Anderson from the Milwaukee Brewers. The Blue Jays acquired this pitcher for Chase Spanberger. I'm sorry if I botched your name. Chase Anderson, who is 31, he posted an 8-4 record and a 4.21 ERA over 27 starts, which is not very good, because normally a good pitcher would have an ERA around like 2 or 3. And now let's head on to what the Blue Jays gave up. So, the first baseman that they gave up, he played for the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, where he had a two a .27 a .237 batting average over 122 games this season.